If Chippendale Rescue Rangers was too bonkers for you, don't worry. On Hulu, you can watch The Valet, a movie you'd seen time and time again, and it's still what you expect it to be. But does that make it good or bad? I don't know. I like to find. I mean, earlier this year, Marry Me came out, with basically the same premise where a nobody man is suddenly thrown into a relationship with a famous woman as the man must learn to overcome his awkwardness and gain self-confidence, while the woman has to learn to not be as rude as before. Okay, that's not really what Marry Me was. No, that movie was about Owen Wilson as a divorced teacher raising his daughter who is thrust into the world of a celebrity singer despite not caring about the attention and wanting what's best for others before himself. I guess you could say it's more like Notting Hill, where Hugh Grant plays a divorced man with no kids who suddenly finds himself in the famous actress's world where she's worried what others think of her, and Hugh Grant worried that he's not good enough or thinks he's too mundane to actually be with someone as big as her, but learns to have self-confidence by the end and realizes he can deserve a real happiness despite the ups and downs that comes across his journey. And this movie is also a remake of a 2006 French movie that got a remake in India in 2009. And that also apparently inspired two other films. Who says originality in the film industry is dead? I've always maintained the idea that a familiar and or cliche story can work depending on its execution. So what do I mean? I like it fine. Well, what is the actual movie about? Written by Bob Fisher and Rob Greenberg, and directed by Richard Wong, this Hulu exclusive film follows a parking valet named Antonio Flores, played by Eugenio Derbez, who lives a very uneventful, unlucky life. He's too humble and insecure with himself that he lets everyone walk over him. He's separated from his soon-to-be ex-wife Isabel, played by Marisol Nicholas, who cheated on him, gaining co-custody of their teenage son, and is about $12,000 in debt, which Antonio wants to pay for to hopefully win this awful person back, who makes Rosie Perez from It Could Happen to You look like, well, not better, but almost as bad as she was. Meanwhile, famous actress Olivia Allen, played by Samara Weaving, is a bitch. She's mean to everyone, and for the first hour of the movie, I had no reason to like her. She's selfish and only cares about herself, which is what selfish means, but you know what I mean. So, how did these two come together? So, Olivia is seeing a married billionaire city developer named Vincent, played by Max Greenfield, whom she's upset he hasn't divorced his wife Kathryn, played by Betsy Brandt, for her yet. So, the night she storms out on him, Antonio knocks his bike into her car, which leads to him to be part of a picture of Olivia and Vincent together by the paparazzi. So, worrying this would ruin both their careers, Vincent comes up with a plan. He will pay Antonio for a few days to pretend to be Olivia's girlfriend, so the rumors of them having an affair will die down, which Antonio agrees to, and given that a billionaire offers him any price, of course he does it for the exact amount of money Isabel is in debt in, because he's a pathetic idiot. No, he's not disgusted doing this, and this isn't like something he's doing reluctantly, like this is his only option. Okay, no, he could have gotten more if he wanted to. So after a few paparazzi-filled events with them together, where Antonio acts like a nervous idiot and Olivia is still a bitch, the two start to form an honest friendship and reconsider their personal lives in the process. Look, I don't know. This movie makes me upset I didn't give Marry Me a 7 out of 10 when I gave it a 6 out of 10. I mean, that story, the two leads are very likable, and you understand both of their dilemmas. Where Owen Wilson and Jennifer Lopez both tried from the beginning that their forced relationship could actually work. I thought the movie wasn't that funny though, which kept it for me enjoying it more, but it was a better story with leads and other characters I didn't appreciate as much when I saw it for the first time, and the only time as of now. But here, the two leads never actually have a romantic relationship or any romantic chemistry. They are not meant to, because they're meant to form a friendship, and that works, but the characters are never given enough time to feel three-dimensional, which bothers me, since the movie is 2 hours long. And I never feel a connection with Antonio and his son, and Olivia is never on screen to say sorry to anyone but one person for her awful privileged behavior. Look, there's a scene in the movie where it does the scene where a character might be on top of the world, but he or she realizes it might mean nothing when you're lonely. Look, there's a tease from a completely different character for Antonio's affection, and not enough time for me to honestly care. There's even a subplot with these two different private investigators who, have a funny back and forth with each other, but it could be cut from the film and it changed nothing. So with that said, what about this movie even works? At least it's funny. Yeah, you've seen these characters, you've seen their story, but Antonio might be written as a stereotype or too pathetic of a person for real person to relate to, because of course he only takes $12,000 and, not more when he's told he can have a blank check or more, but he's a good guy. But what helps this movie out is that its lead is Eugenio Derbez, because he really makes this movie work. I also hope the guy said his name correctly. Samara Weaving is good, of course, but it's an easy character to play, and the rest of the actors are good, but no one is bad. I mean, that's what made the private investigator subplot fun. But Eugenio plays this familiar character with such good comedic timing. I still found him hilarious. So much so, I want to watch other movies with him in it just for him. I remember really liking him in Coda, where he's given the teacher mentor character, a unique portrayal, and here he gives the humble idiot character way more good emotion acting than the movie really deserves. There's a scene in a restaurant where he's asked how he likes his burger served, and he's like, on a bun. But his delivery makes this dead on arrival joke work, and his acting ability do make this character almost believable, where it's followed by him going to the bathroom, but he's mistaken for a waiter, and he's too awkward to say he's not. There's even a later scene in the film, I won't spoil, but he gives a performance I wish he could have been up for an Oscar for, because this movie is not going to be up for Oscars, but he won a SAG award for Coda, a Screen Actors Guild award for Coda, and this guy deserves way better than this. This story still is less funny than funnier, but I enjoyed it enough to say it's fine. It's passable. Watching it once was enough because it's long and you've seen this story before. You know everything that's gonna happen, but I didn't mind it. I wasn't fond of it, but the friendship and sub-romance between Antonio and Olivia by the end made the movie feel different enough than other, rom-coms I'd seen. It's just another movie where without the talent involved, it wouldn't be as possible as this. So I guess I wouldn't drive again, but I enjoyed the drive. This was a terrible metaphor to end this review out of. Okay? So, the movie was just okay. Okay? That's what I'm saying. The movie was just okay. I give The Valet a 6 out of 10.